Pledge allegiance with me.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I salute the flag of the state of New Mexico, the symbol of perfect friendship among united cultures.
Thank you. Ms. Ragland, roll call, please.
Mr. Richard Primrose.
Here.
Ms. Teresa Stevenson. Here. Mr. Tom Sidwell.
Here.
Mr. Jimmy Sandoval. Here. And Mr. Philip Fox is absent today.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Next is approval of the agenda. Everybody had a chance to take a look at our agenda for the meeting today. Any additions or deletions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion second, roll call, please.
Ms. Stevenson.
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval.
Yes.
And Mr. Primrose.
Yes,
And the motion carried.
thank you. Public comment, do we have anybody?
There are none.
Next is approval of our minutes, our regular meeting for February 18th. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes for February 18th meeting? Any additions or deletions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion, a second, roll call, please.
Mr. Sidwell.
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval.
Yes.
Mr. Primrose.
Yes.
And Ms. Stevenson.
Yes.
And the motion carried.
All right, next is the chairman's report. The only thing I have is we met on the finance committee met, and appreciate getting that started back to where we can meet on a regular basis for the finance, and I appreciate all the staff for showing up and helping us understand our current situation, financial. It's a good start. I appreciate all that. Next is President's report. I'll turn this over to Dr. Moss.
So you all have my report. A couple things I wanted to add. I put on there that Mr. Kaiser and I were going to meet with New Mexico State University Ag Center. We did meet with Leonard and yeah, and good discussion. And I think we're going to continue that. And they're actually getting a new dean in that area. And so when that person's in place, then we can maybe have some deeper discussions on how we could work together. And we really think that's going to be a good support to our cowboy arts, some of those science related to ag or those courses. So good meeting there. Went to San Juan School Board meeting last night and spoke with them some. They had some really good questions. Asked about, our CDL program, and I gave them an update. Right now we're set to receive up to $300,000 for equipment for CDL and wind, which will allow us to get a truck and trailer and hopefully get that program started in the fall. They asked about our nursing program and accreditation. And what I emphasize to them is we want to work together, maybe some programming at their schools, but also to develop some workforce programs that would allow juniors and seniors from like San Juan, Logan, Tucumcari at least, that are close enough to us to make it where they could drive and be in class for a couple hours and then go back. But it was a good visit with them. still need to, make a point to make it the house. I've never been there yet. But I gotta connect with their superintendent and make sure to get that done. Then, just one other comment on the FFA event that we had the weekend before last. We had a total of 478 7th through 12th graders on campus Saturday. I think 98 chaperones or sponsors that came with them. And there was a total of about 38 volunteers, and Mr. McVeigh may have this information too, but you know, one of the Chester and I were visiting just briefly in the hallway, and I was like, you know, it's a neat experience to see that many people on this campus and in the hallways. And I know they weren't our students yet, but it was a great opportunity, and I think hopefully we continue to do that. And that's as good of recruiting and advertising as you can get to have those students here. So really big event. I think that's all I have for right now, unless you guys have any questions.
Any questions for Dr. Moss? We have a conversation going on? No?
I don't know.
I thought I heard somebody talking.
There's somebody talking
There's
to the wall.
something in
Oh,
the,
okay.
Not in the wall, but they're talking somewhere.
If not, we'll go to the Board of Trustees annual calendar. We've discussed this and the revisions for this previous meeting, but this is an approval. Have any other additional comments about it? We talked about these changes.
Yeah, maybe we better wait till, okay, let me remember what we talked about. You know, there are some boards that don't meet over the summer, or, you know, there are certain months that we don't have much going on. But then I got to thinking, you know, until we get clear of HED and all that other stuff that we hopefully will be done with, say, next December or so, maybe we better not bother anything right now. But
I personally would like to see us at least continue meeting, whether it's summer or not, but you kind of get out of the habit of meeting and
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's 2 or 3 months down the road.
Yeah, I agree with what Dr. Moss said. I think we need to keep meeting.
Yeah.
You know, if it's only for an hour or
Yeah.
something like that, well, let's meet.
especially with all our past recent
Yeah.
history.
I think what brought that up was, you know, like December, you know, there's very little, and then you have the December break, and so there's not much going on. But yeah, until we get clear of a lot of stuff, I think it'd be just good to leave it alone for now.
So, do we need a motion to do that? Can I entertain a motion to just leave the annual calendar as is,
This is the,
reports,
yes,
annual
and these are all
calendar
the
of
reports
reports?
that go monthly to the board.
Oh, okay.
And so the changes were highlighted, and they may have been moved to a different month or a different department. So that's what that is
So,
the annual calendar reports that y'all get every.
so the motion would be just leave them the same
Well,
for,
there are some changes to
Oh.
approve the
Yeah.
changes,
okay,
Just to,
with,
yeah. But it's still every month, there was no changes of that.
so there are some changes on our
Yes.
calendar.
Calendar
of
reports. Yeah.
Yes,
So I'll make a motion that we approve the calendar and the calendar of reports with the changes that are made. Are those proposed changes or are those actually,
those are proposed changes.
okay, with the changes as proposed?
Have a motion, do I have a second? All right,
Second.
motion and second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
Mr.
Yes.
Primrose,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
and Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
and the motion carried.
All right, next is a resolution and agreement between Mesalands Community College and Eastern Plains Council of Government. I know in the past that the city and the county have used Council of Government to help with, well, they help not only with grant funding, but they also help with the legislature, and they help with other economic development. And so I didn't know if college could be a part of the COG, but they can. And so I think this would be a good investment, $250 annually. They can help us with what our needs with the state. There's 6 COGs within the state. They have, I think Eastern Plains has 5 counties. And said I've been a part of it for several years, and I think they do a good job, and they're willing to help their membership with whatever they need. And I think this would be a really good investment.
Supposed to help us?
Help us.
Who?
The Eastern Plains Council of Government. They're funded by the state, and they're funded, and of course the membership pays. But they're always at Quay Day, and they were at the Colfax County or Union County.
Union, yeah.
And they'll help with the legislature. They'll help with grants. The smaller communities that are members that don't have a grant department, within their organization, they're willing to do that. I know they work for with the transportation all of the time. They have annual meetings and economic development. Finance authority.
I had a meeting with them last week. They're writing a grant and asked if we wanted to be a part of it, and I said absolutely. It's to go toward bringing workforce or CTE programs into the high schools so that they have exposure to that. And so I met with let's see, a couple people from EPCOG, Sandy Chancey and someone else. And then they have a grant writer, I think she's out of Oklahoma or Kansas, that's actually putting the grant together. But then they are also reaching out to the local school superintendents, and I connected them with Roy and Mosquero, Clayton, and Des Moines. But that's another thing they do is it's not just for governments, but also for the economic development of the whole region. And then I think also it might make us eligible for some like feasibility studies or planning grants, like when we get ready to start building and a housing unit or something for the students, that we might be able to get some money through them and their help in securing grants to do that.
Right, they usually get NMFA grants or planning grants. And CDBG has planning grants, and they, I know they've done that in the past too.
I didn't know that. They never helped us before, that I know of.
Well, they've helped I know they've helped government entities, but I wasn't sure that they could help the college, but they said they can, so I think it's, they would be very helpful to do that.
That's good. It's about time. College has been by itself ever since the college started.
Any other questions for Dr. Moss and myself? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve this agreement.
I move that we do the resolution Eastern Plains.
I guess a little bit before that, we need to,
Oh, did I
the other
do
thing
this?
we need
No.
to do is we need to appoint a designee and an alternate for the, when you go to the meeting, they vote. You know, they have vote, for, just like, voting here, but it's voting at the COG, and so you have appoint a designee and an alternate so that they can vote, on the decision-making at the board meetings.
From the board or from the college or
Either way, it can
a
be.
mix?
You know, I would hope that, Dr. Moss would be the designee, or,
I didn't know you guys had to do that, but I'll do it. I'll do it if,
and maybe one of the trustees as an alternate.
I think that'd be good.
Oh, we got any volunteers?
Yeah, I'll volunteer. Be an alternate. I've had a little dealings with them in the past.
So I'll make a motion to approve the resolution and have Dr. Moss as the designated representative and, Mr. Sidwell as alternate.
You need a motion?
I make that motion.
Okay, okay, I just need a second.
A second.
We have a motion and a second, roll call please.
Mr. Primrose,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
and Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
and motion carried.
All right. Next is the purchase requisition number 117990, the JAG special audit.
Do we have to, vote on the resolution itself?
It was together.
Yeah, it's a resolution and an agreement. We talk about the Eastern Plains.
Do we need to vote on, accepting it or whatever? Or does the appointment of the representative and alternate?
It's all part of,
That's
the
all we had to
resolution
do,
and
okay.
agreement.
Yeah.
Down in the, we put our designated to represent and the alternate, they're on the bottom of the
Mhm.
resolution and agreement, and then sign it. So I think we've done all of
Okay.
this. And it looks like they've, prorated, well, so 6250 is what we would owe for this year, and then,
Yeah, they prorated it, so we'd only pay for like 3 months this year. So we'll have another agreement coming up for the 25-26
Right.
year.
Any other questions on that? If not, we'll move to the purchase requisition
So
for the special audit.
this is just kind of, I think the original estimate was, was it 250,000 or something?
Yeah.
So they've obviously been here for one of their visits. They've been doing interviews. In fact, I think they may be finished, but they still had a couple the last time I talked to them. Interviewing old employees and current some, and just doing some digging into stuff. But I guess they weren't paid for what they've done so far, so that's what this is for.
Okay,
And
then
this would be reimbursed out of,
House Bill 2.
Yeah.
So we just pay it and then we get reimbursed.
that's the plan.
The whole amount?
But no, yeah, this requisition's for $146,914, but they've appropriated more than that, 250, I think. So this is just probably a partial pay. Not any more questions on that. Well, I'll entertain a motion to approve that requisition.
I'll make a motion, we approve the requisition.
Second,
Have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Stevenson,
yes.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes.
and Mr. Primrose.
Yes.
The motion carried.
All right, next is February 2025 financial report.
Good afternoon.
We're fast. All right. Sorry.
I don't know if you have any questions on it. We did discuss it in the finance committee. It was the amount in the bank was a little bit lower. We did have the student financial aid disbursements that went out. So I need to do the drawdown to get that revenue brought back in. But other than that, I don't know if you have any other questions on that report.
We pay the 23 audit, or have we yet?
So I did see it in the spreadsheet that was for the House Bill 2. So I did see it in there. I need to do a little bit more research on our side. So then we now have the
Get re-
it got reimbursed. It kind of seems like it got billed early, but I'm not sure. That's the way
Okay.
it kind of came across to me.
So the big expense is for the roof of the building E,
Yes. that was that one also for the
$182,000.
insurance. Yes. Also.
Oh, we should get reimbursed for that.
So that money did come in at the end of June of 24.
So that's the insurance money that we've been.
Yes, so we received it up front.
There are some monies that, and Ms. Aris may have an update on this, but we're probably still looking to get reimbursed for, Ms. Sharmer, Mr. Gray, money that we paid out to them, corrections, HERF maybe, that we still haven't gotten reimbursed for.
I don't know if I haven't done the drawdown for her, so that's for
Okay,
sure.
so there's
We need
still-
that one to come
There's
in.
still some money out there that we still need to
And
get
then
drawn down, but
The financial aid disbursements that were just done, we'll have to get the drawdown on that
Yeah.
one.
So February is a big, lots of expenses, but most of it is
Will be reimbursed.
Yeah.
we've already
If not already, yes.
received. Any other questions for Ms. Arias? On the financials? Cash still looks good, even though we have that huge expense, but
did I email out that,
Yeah.
balance sheet to you? Okay, I thought, I didn't get that in time for the board packets, but I wanna make sure you guys got that.
did you have, I know we did talk about the interest that we're receiving for Citizens Bank? Cause it's not on there.
We'll have that one updated for the next one, yes.
Okay,
So I also have to add in,
the other one.
the other CD that's actually at First National Bank that hasn't been being reported on there.
Yeah.
That I just became aware of, so I'll put that on there.
Okay.
Which was what, an additional 62,000 on top of the amounts of the CDs, so
All right.
it's additional asset amount that's not on there.
I didn't have anything else other than huge roof payment. have any questions on the financials?
Interest rates are sure going down.
We do have a meeting Thursday, or I'm assuming Dr. Ross is gonna attend with me. Representative from New Mexico Bank and Trust wants to meet with us and go over kind of like our financial health and see if there's anything that they can help us or provide better services for us. So we'll talk about the CDs, talk about the credit card instead of a debit card, and see what other services they have to offer us. And hopefully we'll get some good news out of that.
Are there any questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the February 2025 financial report.
I move to approve the report.
I'll second.
Motion and a second, roll call please.
Mr. Sidwell,
Yes.
Mr. Sandoval,
Yes. Yes.
Ramos,
Yes.
and Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
and the motion carries.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Kaiser, Academic Affairs.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, you have my report for this month for academic affairs. And before I go through the listing, I just wanted to take a moment to introduce our new wind instructor.
I'm the new wind instructor for the wind program. A little bit about myself. I came through the program actually. I got my certificate with the program, and then I also got my degree with the program. Went out there to the field a little bit, got my experience in, worked with Impact as a trainer. Didn't work out for me. Seen the position here, went ahead and I put my application in. Got us some good interviews going from everybody, and felt like I was pretty good when I walked out of that interview. Got the opportunity to come and work for you guys, so happy to be here, excited to be here. Bring tons of knowledge as far as wind program, right? It's kind of my baby. I got a lot of troubleshooting stuff under my belt. I know a lot of site managers. I am a GWO instructor, so I could possibly bring that to the table for Mesalands to get our students GWO certified. I am in the talks with Joel and a potential advisor for GWO standards to see what it's going to take for us to get us there. But in the meantime, I do got a meeting after this meeting. I got a meeting with the advisor to see about the GWO stuff.
Okay.
If you guys
Welcome
have
aboard.
questions. Right on, awesome. Appreciate you guys having me.
Welcome.
What is DWO?
GWO, it is a global wind organization. Now with the wind industry, they are going to a standard where it's GWO, and it is basically a rescue setting type of a thing. It has like basic standard training, BTT, which is basic technical training, and then you also got your ART, which is advanced rescue training. So it kind of brings everything into a kind of a one type of certificate. I am also going to be working on trying to get like a good 6-week new course going for us for the summer programs, and potentially roll it out to the next semester. That is all going to be in the works. I'll be building that and then getting it over to Joel and see where we go from there, approval and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
That's great.
Nice to meet you. I haven't really met you. I know you are though. Nice to meet you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for having me over here.
Welcome aboard.
Congratulations, boss.
Thank you. All right, right on. I'm gonna get out of your guys' hair. No questions for me, right? Right on. You guys have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
So, Mr. Alexander, as you can tell, is not really up for lecturing. He's more hands-on. And just to highlight some of the areas of his expertise, he's up top troubleshooting and communications. And he has a nickname, and I don't know if this is good or bad, and I'm glad he walked out. It's called Squirrel, and it's to chase out problems in the turbines. So as soon as we had our first meeting, you know, the task with both Terrell Stowe and Alexander is you guys figure out what's going on with this turbine and let's get it running again. You know, to a point where we have full capacity to produce power and put it back into the system. So they already got some areas that they're checking, and you know, we might see it running when we come back from spring break. So I'm excited.
That'd be great, yeah.
And to talk a little, I guess I'll talk a little more about some of the programs we're gonna build out. Workforce is about to become a secondary focus within academics. Again, we have funding, we have support from the state for workforce applications, and these are non-credit bearing coursework, right, that have, in many cases, national credentials or standards. And what Alexander was mentioning was this GWO certification is one of many other wind certs that are happening right now in the wind industry. And along with that cert, we're gonna be investigating a timeline that we could actually deploy for a cert for dual credit main campus and as well a corrections workforce certificate. And our launch will be in the fall. So all of this is gonna happen at the same time as main credit bearing courses on this campus. I'm really excited about that. And in addition, and I have the other two new hires on here. I didn't have Alexander on because we were still going through the process. On item number 2, we did bring on a part-time CNA instructor through Workforce, Miss Fallon Garcia, who is a recent graduate of the nursing program. And she is already built out and readied a cohort for CNA to start on 3/24/25. Very quick starting point, and they're kind of fluctuating between 8 to 12 students in this program. The program is primarily supported by Integrated Educational Training, which is an HED. It's another one of those acronyms, the IET program. And it's to promote job ready and provide some extra funding for those individuals that are going into that field. So Fallon's in the middle of that. We also brought on our full-time workforce welding slash, and this is a lot, I just put all these different descriptions of this, of Mr. Hughes here, Brian Hughes. So he'll be serving as our welding, our cowboy arts metals instructor. So he's got a very unique set of skills. He has a G6, I think it's a G6 welding certification. And his first task is to align our curriculum for workforce and credit bearing to American Welding Society standards. So in the end, we hope to be able to launch not only a American Welding Society certificate, but also be able to integrate that training within existing programs such as Cowboy Arts, Animal Science, Farrier Sciences as well. Again, a wealth of knowledge, and he is an exquisite knife maker on his own art metals practice. And when we sit down and looked at some of the different options that he has strengths in. He is a true blacksmith, an artistic blacksmith. And within the first class period, he had the students drawing out knives from railroad spikes and doing twists within the knives. So pretty amazing work just right off the bat. And his fine work is a different type of craftsmanship, and I'll share that with you all so you get a sense of what he's bringing to the curriculum. Mr. Hughes will be working with Nate Glaspie, our fine arts lead faculty, and they're putting on a workshop for the Clarington it's a group of students that come from Clarendon College each year, and they'll be doing basic spur making, and then working with Paul Leonard in the Farrier area as well. So that's gonna be coming up in April, I think. So I'll keep you guys posted on that, if you wanna stop by and check out that activity. That's our new team that we're bringing on. Don't let them fool you, those that look young. I think they bring a different type of energy and experience. Not to say that they're not all young, you know, but I don't wanna get into that comparison.
Everybody's young.
Everybody's young, yeah. Important dates, next week is spring break. So you guys, it'll be a little more quiet around campus. We are currently in the 8th week of instruction. So our second 8-week classes started today. And then we go into spring break and we come back, we'll have 7 weeks. So the next 7 weeks will probably be one of the busiest semesters I think we've had in a long time. And to highlight some of the work that's being done, of course, we've got our student affairs team who's putting together a package, doing all the recruiting, putting out class schedules, all that side. So thank you guys on that side. Our criterion committees are preparing for our HLC deliverables, which that'll all be submitted, hopefully submitted to our criterion lead, Dr. Edwards, in the next couple of weeks. We're also going to try to implement Canvas so we can do a test run during the summer. And again, Canvas is that new LMS, our course delivery system to replace Moodle. So a lot of busy work, and of course, my direct academic affairs team, they're working on various support activities from adult ed support with Dean Garcia and Miss Enriquez, Kim Enriquez, who's working on different workforce applications and internal micro-credential add-ons to our existing LMS system. So from what I understand, come April, we'll be able to credential our own OSHA 10 for our WIN students here, and even for our staff and faculty if we needed to credential up OSHA 10 credentials. And within that portal, we also have access to OSHA 30 and all sorts of other training simulators within this compact system we just added on. So tremendous amount of work for our teams.
Okay.
So that's, in a nutshell, that's what I have. Any questions?
Any questions for Mr. Kaiser? Looks like you and your staff are very busy. Any other questions? I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything you're doing. Next is Student Affairs, Mr. McVeigh.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, or actually afternoon. I'm excited to begin by introducing our new marketing specialist. This is Yvonne.
Good evening, everyone. Very nice to meet you. Very nice to see you all. I started about 2 weeks ago. I'll be the new marketing specialist here. Really excited to bring in my skills to try and bring in as many students as we can on this campus. As I understand, that'll be our main focus, and that will be my main focus for the next several years. I went to school at WT, West Texas A&M University. That's a school in Canyon, Texas. Did marketing over there, and then I graduated, worked in sales for about a year, and eventually I found this opportunity. Thanks to Josh here. I really appreciate you for bringing me in. This is a great opportunity for me. Very excited to finally use the skills that I've built over the years. I got to work in different internships, marketing internships, and did marketing projects on my own. So I've definitely built some skills over the years that I believe will be extremely useful to the school, and really excited to bring that here.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you
Appreciate
very
your
much.
help.
Thank you very much.
Yvonne stood out during the interviews, just did an excellent job. His knowledge, he's a wealth of knowledge. I will brag a little bit about him graduating summa cum laude. He's one of the top of his class, very knows what he's doing in marketing. Very excited with the opportunities that he brings and allows us to do as well because of his expertise and knowledge. We're able to utilize a lot of our landing pages, our website, and our marketing efforts in a very concise manner that's going to be extremely efficient but also productive. And as he said, our emphasis is getting students here on campus. That's one of our big goals, and we're working with local high schools as well as opportunities in the area but across the state as well. So I'm very excited about having him on here. So
Thank you.
thank you.
I really appreciate that.
Thank you so
And-
much.
Yvonne, if you'd like, you can go ahead and step out if you'd like to, or if you have anything else to say, or anybody has any questions, please.
Any questions?
It's just nice that he came to Tuncurry.
Right.
We need people here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Good to be here. Thank you. All right. Hope to see
Thank you.
Thank you, Yvonne. To continue, a couple of highlights. As Dr. Moss said earlier, we were very excited to have FFA here over the weekend, and there were over 478 students that were here on campus, and it was an incredible opportunity. I'll tell you about the report as far as the teachers and volunteers. Thought that everything went very smoothly. It was a great experience. We had games and things like that for the students in between competitions. And so they really enjoyed themselves and had a great time. Again, a lot of the students were very impressed with what we have here to provide for programs and training, the facilities themselves, and we're excited to find out that Santa Rosa actually brought over, I believe, about 40 students to come over and participate. And a lot of the students from Santa Rosa are making plans to return and get an even more in-depth look because they were very impressed with what Mesalands has to offer, and especially something as close as we are to where they're located. So again, those efforts to work with students and bring them into the college, those opportunities are there, and we're really trying to take advantage of those. The graduation committee, which is also the student affairs committee, was established, and the graduation speaker who has agreed to attend in May is the Lieutenant Governor Howie Morales. He will be speaking for us at our graduation in May. We're very excited to be having him with us. That's something that I didn't get on the report because I wasn't sure at the time, but there you are. We have confirmation on that, so we're excited about that. We have our EDA grant that we applied for, economic development, was put on hold. I believe it may have something to do with the funding freeze that's happened. So it's in, it's there, they're aware of it, but we're just waiting for that to find resolution. And then we'll be able to move forward, hopefully, with that. But just wanted to update you on where that currently stood as of now. Again, really exciting opportunities and things that have been going on campus. You can see as it shows through the report, but those are a couple things that I wanted to highlight that we've taken some steps forward in. I did install the certificate of recognition from the state, from the Senate of New Mexico, and so that's been installed there as well. And so if there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer anything that you have. Yes, sir?
How are you gonna get the students to come to Mesalands?
Well,
There's nothing here.
oh, absolutely, there's something here. We got all kinds of good things. We've got wonderful training that gets students.
No.
You talking about the community?
Cause the community don't care for education. That's why I'm wondering, how come you guys talk about students coming to Mesalands when the city and the county don't move?
But I've had a different experience
Tell me.
from the community. People here have been very supportive of Mesalands.
Well, I can tell you why.
Come in contact with. What's that?
I can tell you why they're like that.
Okay.
Because me and you are different. That's the difference. When I say something, they won't do nothing. Or they don't put it on the paper or nothing. I fought for education for I don't know how many years. They never cared for education.
Times have changed, we're changing.
Better make a
Next
change,
slide,
change
just
pretty
gonna-
quick, cause I don't see nothing changing.
We've got some marketing staff now, we're gonna see a change.
Yeah.
You know, and you're talking about, potentially more students. In hand, we really need housing. You know, it's
Yeah.
getting more and more
Yeah, we need it.
important because I think that will attract more students. you
More
know,
students, yeah.
And especially with their parents, knowing that there's housing on campus.
Absolutely.
And so, well, I was just gonna throw in there, and that's something that ties a lot of the things we've already talked about together. Mr. Martinez and I had a meeting with the city last week, getting a letter for zoning for this property over here, then we can move forward with the surveying, and then the EPCOG application that we are submitting could potentially open us up for some funding for some feasibility studies, whether we're looking at building some, complex or tiny homes or something on that property. Is there a possibility with the Alco building? So there's several things that we need to look at, but that definitely a focus is how do we get housing? We're also, I'll remind you all, at our visit with a member of the governor's staff that they're looking at coming down, at least they were, April or sometime, and maybe meeting with us in the city and the county, because the housing's not just our student housing, it's housing for staff, housing for the school district staff, housing for hospital staff, and then, definitely students. So a lot of this ties together what we're looking to do.
Yeah,
So-
we have a housing for the kids close to school. It'd be nice, but a lot of them wanna work so they can pay their bills, so they can buy what they need for themselves.
Yeah, it would be a game changer for us. But when you're talking about student housing in general, you're also talking about students that are coming from a little further away. But what we also need to focus on is getting students locally to realize what we have here. And that's kind of the reaction that I heard from the Santa Rosa students. They're only 40 to 50 miles away, but they don't have any idea what programs we have here. That they could come here without having to move and spend thousands of dollars in housing at a 4-year or some other college a long way off. And so that's where a lot of the focus of like Miss Shelby and our recruiter and Yvonne and Mr. McVeigh and his staff are working on is getting that promotion of what we actually have here for our students. So
That's what our numbers, our enrollment numbers, the data is telling us that the majority of students from Tucumcari and Logan who do go to college do not choose Mesalands. So that's something that we need to work on changing to show them or give them an opportunity that the first 2 years can be extremely economical before they go to a 4-year university, and it'll transfer right into the 4-year to complete that degree. Those opportunities plus workforce as well, that those opportunities are right there within a matter of 10 to 12 weeks. They can be certified as wind technicians in workforce and be able to go straight into the workforce, as well as other things that we're working on, being CNA, potentially welding, and others that are potential things we can look towards. Workforce gives them another opportunity, not just academic and then moving on into a 4-year, but instantly getting those jobs.
So how will this work with the Ag Science Center? I mean, are they gonna have the staff to help with teaching, or is it gonna be a joint effort? or-
we haven't got that far.
You haven't got
really
that
yet.
far.
That's a Joel question, I
can
think.
give you just a brief. Ideally, what would be wonderful is if our current 2,000 level and lower foundations classes have access to that lab or facility as part of their learning environment. And the possibility through an articulation agreement, partnership with the their university, is maybe have one of their instructors here to teach at 3,000 level and up. So maybe graduate students from other places are coming here. Not so much sure on how the credits would work yet, but that would be the goal, is more activity here, more people to Tucumcari and of course, Mesalands campus.
And that's why we're waiting to see who comes into that position, because that person, depending on what they see as important, may not approve of us utilizing some of their instructors or, programs. And so.
So
that's
when
what
you say it's the dean, would that be the dean of the Cooperative Extension Service or the,
It was something
replacing,
different.
replacing Leonard's position or?
Yeah, it's somebody above them, and it's not something they really have control over.
Yeah.
It would be higher up in the New Mexico state. I can't remember the exact title. I wrote it down somewhere, but I can't remember.
Well, maybe it may be the Dean of Cooperative Extension Service, which is basically over all of the science centers and everything.
I do want to share as well that we had a meeting regarding the FFA competition that was here on campus. We had the highest enrollment that we had, so higher than last year significantly, and also plans for next year. So we are making plans that would interest West Texas as well, give them an opportunity to come over and join us as well. So I bring that up because those are more opportunities, for those students, but again, through agriculture and the potential of bringing livestock onto the campus and utilizing the livestock in those competitions as well, which would be a big.
And we did have one or two schools from West Texas participate,
We did, yes.
along with the New Mexico schools. So it was a great experience.
Good opportunity. Anybody have any other questions from Mr. McVeigh? Appreciate all you do for your report, and I know y'all are really busy.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Yes,
you.
absolutely. Appreciate it. Thank you for your time.
Next, Administrative Affairs from Mr. Martinez.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, members of the board. I'd like to follow up specifically with the housing discussion, because like Dr. Moss said, that was something that was on my report. I was going to relay today. We did meet with the city to discuss the land that's going to be donated from the Tucumcari Public Schools, where they typically have their bonfires. If you head towards the south, it's on your left-hand side right before you get to the armory. And again, just out of precaution, before we invested funds towards any surveying or any kind of appraisals, which would be the next step in the process to get that property acquired from the public schools, we want to make sure that there's no concerns with zoning. That's kind of the first process. So we did meet with them. It was positive. They're going to draft a letter. This would be a zoning verification letter that what we're proposing to do at that property is allowable based on the current R2 zoning, which is what it's zoned right now. I am waiting for some additional information from the public schools just to make sure I have the exact property profile description. I pulled the generic property profile from the county and it lists the entire block. So I need to see exactly from those meeting minutes, what lots that they reference the lots specifically. That way that zoning verification letter is tailored specifically to the property that we would be donated. That way we have no issues. Sometimes things change with the change in administration or the commissioner. So I want to make sure that the exact property profile is described in that letter before moving forward. And I am working with the public schools to obtain that information. I'll jump into some insurance updates. I'm happy to report that the TPO roof on Building E, the wind energy building, is now 100% complete, as well as the gutter and downspouts on the west side of the roof. They also performed some stucco work on all the bump outs above the windows in Building E, as well as the west side of the building actually had, the stucco work had completely deteriorated due to the water leaking from the gutter system, as well as, since there's a small opening already, there's some birds with nests up there and they had tore the stucco more, but that's thankfully been completely repaired and they matched it pretty close to the existing stucco color, which is pretty difficult. So they did a great job with that. I'm happy to announce that's gone forward. And that's actually the public schools calling me now. Sorry about that. So To add to the work, they've now started the repair on the R panel portion of the roof, the middle portion. They do expect some delays in work due to the high winds. If the wind is too high or if it's inclement weather, if it's snowing or raining, they will pull their crews down for safety. So I imagine they may have to pull down early this week with the expected high winds coming up on Thursday and Friday. But they are making great progress. And then the next steps after the exterior has been completed, we could then start discussing the interior, removing all the paneling that's been removed and some of the sheetrock. They'll come back, make sure there's no, and there's not, I don't want to panic anybody. It's been clean, no mold growth, all that's been remediated, but they'll go through one more time just to make sure everything's fine before they start putting the paneling up. So like Dr. Moss said, everything kind of ties together. We're all one team, we all work together, and combined we accomplish the missions of the college. So with that being said, to elaborate further on the financial side of things, just to give an idea, March will see a huge impact as well. For example, we received all the money up front through insurance for the repair of building E for the roof. With that being stated, I've already received the next pay application, which is an amount about a little over $200,000 for the next job for the roof. I did question it, however, because I think there's some misunderstanding between the on-site project manager and those that provide the billing for the roofing company. They stated that I think 50 or 75% of the project was complete, the entire project, when at the time it was realistically 50 or 75% of just the TPO roof. So of course, with procurement, we can't pay for things in advance, and also we want those safeties in place. So if something were to happen, they don't say, oh, you already paid us, we're gonna move on. We wanna make sure that we're following the rules and doing what we're supposed to. So with that, they're addressing that pay application and reducing that invoice a little bit. And there's a lot of behind the scenes things going on, but I just don't want anybody to be surprised when the March invoice hits. It will be probably about around $200,000 that we'll see down on the cash side from the accounting side. I also wanted to let everybody know that we are now offering discounts. I can't remember if I mentioned this previously, probably not, but to current veterans, active military, and senior citizens 60 and older, they'll receive a 10% discount off their monthly membership at the fitness center. And of course, we have the typical promotions that we've been running, the buy 5, get the 6 free, and if you buy 10 consecutive months, you get the 11th and 12th month free as well. We're also in the process of scheduling additional repairs to our fire safety systems, the alarm panels. Chester has been doing a great job of coordinating that with the company, so we'll be moving forward with that. Also, we've been troubleshooting connectivity issues at the wind turbine. Different components have been changed out throughout the past couple of months. I know IT's worked with Mr. Stowe to see if what's connecting, what's communicating, and whatnot based on Wi-Fi and hardwired connections. So they're going back and forth and troubleshooting that to try to get that back in service as soon as possible. And the last thing I have is more on the financial side. Since I'm over the auxiliary services as well, I wanted the board to be able to see some trends and start getting familiar with what our different auxiliary services are doing financially. So it's broken down for you in different departments and classifications for the bookstore, the dinosaur museum, and the fitness center. And it gives you something to go off of for future statistics to show, hey, look, we're up or we're down compared to where we were last year at this time. Since it's new to the fitness center, I'm just providing statistics just for the current month, or the previous month, which would have been February. And then Lonnie was able to provide numbers for the dinosaur museum last year at this time compared to this year, which we are up, which is great news. And again, it just shows an overall view of everything ties together. So an increase in marketing and partnering with the city through lodgers tax, everything that we're doing now is improving. We were at a point where we still are recovering from previous and backlog of different things from previous administration. We're getting out of that, and now we're doing what can we do to fine tune this and get better than we were even before that. And that's where all of our teams coming together and being positive. The marketing is supporting us to make sure we're advertising better to increase our revenues in other locations. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody for the hard work, and I'd stand for any questions.
questions for Mr. Martinez?
I got one. I'm always worried about education's my number one thought. Have you guys figured out how come the school's in the shape they're in the college?
That our college is in the shape that we're in. So I think if you're referencing to the financial side of that, I think that's part of the reason for the special audit. They're going back all the way to 2019 to 2023, 2024, to see what might have happened during those times financially. My area specifically, of course, I see the business office as well as infrastructure. Right now, my main focus is what can we do infrastructure-wise to make sure that the students have the best experience that they can have on our campus, that they're safe, and they have the facilities they need to accomplish their educational goals here at Mesalands. I can't really speak on behalf of what happened before me.
I can.
But we definitely are moving in the right direction. We've improved significantly from getting audits in on time to expanding programs to making sure the infrastructure that was poor in the past is to the standards we need to provide a great, safe working environment and teaching and learning environment as well.
Because what's wrong with this community, they're prejudiced. We had a superintendent that the city didn't want because he was Hispanic. They wanted a white man. So the Hispanic came in, and he couldn't do nothing because his board didn't want to move. And this from Mesaland was trying to help him to move forward, but his board wouldn't help him. And then he started to move into the college because of her name. That's why the sign there on 10th Street says Mesaland College. Then you look at the building, it's got Mesalands Community College. And what we're trying to do was one of our bosses was to call it Mesaland, period. Take community off because the community don't care about education. And that's what we're trying to do. But then instead of the board voting me in as president of the board, they wanted somebody else that didn't even do nothing for the college. And that's how we're standing. That's why we are today. You don't fire people just to fire them. You gotta have a reason.
Yes, sir, and I understand where you're coming from. I'm hoping that we've overcome those obstacles. Things have changed, administration has changed, we're going in the right direction. And I agree, things were changed with previous administration as far as like the naming of the sign like you referenced. I know we've changed now where we've gone back to community college because we are part of our community. We are a staple that's taking care of the surrounding areas. So I hope that we're able to overcome what's happened before us and we're completely new administration and we're doing what we can to make sure that Mesalands Community College advances and it's the best that it ever has been.
I hope so. As long as I'm here, I hope so. Because I will complain because he never wrote nothing that I said when I was working for education. And then what I did, everybody turned against me, but nobody asked me why I did what I did. All they knew that I was brown and get him off. That's what the people did, the whole county. Did they ever ask me why come I did what I did? Because it never was put down on the paper or announced on the radio when they used to have radio station. Now they don't have, they just play music, they don't get news in the radio no more.
Officially, right now, we are Mesalands Community College. Our 2023 audit was good. Our 2024 is going to be better. We're making extremely high progress, lots of progress, and staff is making progress.
What are we gonna do once we get out of the problems that we're in?
We're getting out of them.
We're gonna expand, but how are we gonna expand?
We can't control what happened, and I wasn't here, and most of these guys weren't here. I passed a few years ago. But one thing I can guarantee you is we are doing everything we can to provide more opportunities for our students. That's why we now have a nursing program. That's why we're looking to expand our welding program with our new hire. We're gonna keep pushing our WIN program. We're even exploring maybe plumbing next fall, which is something we haven't had here in a long time. And tying our building trades, possibly a building trades program in with that student housing idea. Because this area, and I'm not saying this bad about anybody, but I don't know that this college has served the area like it should have for the past several years. But I personally will say we're making every effort to do that. That's why I'm going out and visiting these different school districts. I'm working with the area superintendents on how, not just Logan, Tucumcari, San Juan, but I'm talking down to Corona, Mosquero, Des Moines. We're having conversations with Clayton on, I visit with the CEO of the hospital there. They want to start a CNA program. They would love to see a nursing cohort started up there at Clayton as well. We have 16 students, I think, already interested in our nursing program for the fall. So, you know, those are things that are going to extend, not just, my hope is we're done with all this financial stuff by November, December, that we get through our HLC visit, we get our 25 audit done, we're completely caught up on that. We don't have, you know, we get through our ASIN accreditation for nursing, but those plans we're making are for 2, 3, 4, 10 years down the road for this area.
Yeah, we used to have mostly all of that, plumbing and all this for the students. And then we got a president nuisance, which he was a nuisance, destroyed everything.
It's hard to rebuild that overnight because it's expensive.
And the board didn't care. He just didn't do what he wanted.
But I think you have a board right now that does care.
I hope so.
And I guarantee you this team feels the same way.
I hope they do.
And right now we've made it almost 2 years together. And we're planning on going on. So
I used to know everybody here. Now I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
And I needed help on a couple of things, and I asked some to help me work on it. I haven't seen nobody help me or say anything about it.
And Mr. Sandoval, to go back to everybody as a team trying to make this community college, be successful, everything ties together. So example, we had the calendar report update. Part of that to better serve the community colleges, we changed the date that the ICIP was due. Typically, we had it in July, and now we're bumping it up a month because to be eligible for capital outlay funds, we have to have that pre-approved and go through the board. That way we can apply for the summer project come July 1. So again, we're doing everything as a team to come together, making changes internally to policies and calendars to make sure we're better prepared to promote the community college in a better way and get reports and meet deadlines. Again, things change, so we are doing everything within our means to make sure we're changing things that were not done correctly in the past to make them appropriate so we could grow.
Just like Mr. Grossback, when he was president of the college, he talked to the board members, and then he talked to me and talked about the problems, and I told him about the problems and stuff that I have done. I showed him the speeches that I used to give, but nothing ever came out in the newspaper or on the radio. When I was trying to do something for education, they never put it in the newspaper.
Well, we're moving forward now. We have a great team.
I hope so. I don't have too much longer here, but
Give her hell while you're still here.
that's what I'm gonna do. This is last year. Now that you gave me the warning, okay. Okay. Because the one thing I do is believe in education for our little kids. And even if they don't put them on the paper or nothing. Don't let people know what the hell's going on in this community. But I will let them know. Thank you for the help. You back me up when I get into trouble.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Martinez?
No, that's it, boss.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All you do, thank you. is, Mr. Garcia's not here.
And Miss
Ms.
Griffith said neither. I think, didn't they say, which we still meet with them before the board meeting, I think they're probably both gonna try to have a meeting sometime in maybe April before the end of school, and they'll have a report maybe for that.
All right. Any trustee comments?
I got one.
Do you have one?
I'm the oldest board member here in Mesaland, and I helped start this college, and nobody had asked me any questions about nothing. What do you think? They know everything. That's why I keep. Except now, like he said, this is my last year, and this year I'm gonna raise all kinds of hell.
All right. Next, I entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sandoval? Mr. Sandoval?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Mr. Primrose?
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson?
Yes.
Mr. Sidwell?
Yes.
And the motion carried.
All right.
moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Primrose,
Yes.
Ms. Stevenson,
Yes.
Mr. Sitwell,
Yes.
and Mr. Sandoval.
Yes.
Motion carried.
We had no decisions were made in executive session. No correspondence, dates. Our next meeting is gonna be April the 15th, 3:00 here.
When's Good Friday?
Do what?
When's Good Friday?
Good Friday?
Anything changed this year? I forgot what.
18th.
The
April
18th?
April 18th.
April 18th.
Yeah.
Yes. The last meeting, we were talking about trying to set up maybe possibly a Saturday for our ACT. Has everybody had a chance to look at their calendar as to a Saturday that, we've gotta get it done before June 30.
April 5 is out for me. Depending on the weather, of course. That's when we're branding, so.
Well, I think, let's see. We do it then, so April 26th, or I have May 3rd, May 17th, or May 31st. Is May a good month?
I don't know.
Not
I've
the,
been to it already, so
not the 10th.
Maybe if y'all will look at, like May 17th or May 31st. I'll
Is-
ask.
Oh, 31st, okay.
I'm good for those.
Yeah, as far as I know, I'm good for it too. I don't
17th or 31st. I'll give those two dates to ACCT, and they can see if our instructor is available those 2 days. And I'll text Philip, try to get that started.
On that note, ACCT, the national conference is in October. And I think it's in New Orleans, but I'm gonna make sure we set some money aside for board travel for that. If you all have an interest, not required or anything, but if anybody has an interest in doing that, I'm not sure we got that in the budget.
that's a nice place. I like New Orleans. Music, every door there's got music. Somebody playing something.
Mulots. Oh, we spend a lot of time in mulots. It was good. Good food, good music.
Yeah, that's one thing they did have good food.
That was really the only thing I wanted to see if we could nail down the time for our training, and we'll try to get those 2 Saturdays. I'll make sure that Philip's so good with that. That's nothing else, so we'll entertain a motion to